What's up, guys? Got another cool one to show off. This is the third of my ST3600 movement builds, which is an ETA 6497 clone. So this is a Klingon build. So my buddy Phil designed this dial. Did sent me the layout on it. Wanted it done in black and red, which was a bit challenging. He wanted these parts in red, everything that's raised. So in order to do that, we had to laser etch out everything else. Then you do a full red cerakote, so the whole thing is red, and then bake it in. Then do the whole thing in black. So it's got to be etched out deep enough that I can have 2 layers of cerakote, because under this black is red. But now all this is black, and before it dries, you wet sand off the raised areas to re-expose that red. Then bake it. So Klingon logo, Klingon numbering around it for I guess 1 through 12, right? I can't tell. I'm assuming through 1 through 12. This is in that Panerai style case, so it's got your crown guard on here. It's a 44mm case. Otherwise, with 24mm lugs, we went with a black PVD case. It's got the blue AR on there, which makes it super tough to take pictures because you're either catching light or you're catching yourself. I mean, you can see me in here right now, you know, and the phone on the stand. So tough to take pictures. Did a black handset. I only have a few different black handsets, so I went with one of the largest ones I can because this is like a 35mm dial. Exhibition caseback on the back side of it. Then he wanted to do a black cerakoted band, and we have a really cool look on this. You can see it's like black brushed, which is very cool, with red on the outsides. And I am not as, I'm a big Star Trek fan, grew up on Star Trek, but I am not as familiar with the Klingon language to even know what that says. But I thought that was very awesome that we tied something in on the clasp. So here's your build, man. So this thing has like a 57-hour power reserve on it. I built this 2 nights ago, so it's been running perfect for almost 36 hours. But how you wind these and how you work with these is you drop your lever off, right? And at that point, you can wind. Okay, so in this position where it's close to the case, you can wind. And I need to look up on an ST3600 dial or build movement. Sorry, this is all still new terminology to me. I need to find out winding it backwards. Does that do anything? Does it even matter? You want to just keep doing it the same way? But you can overwind these. Once you wind it and it gets hard, don't keep doing anything there. So these are more difficult than my other builds to wind, just because I can only turn this. Just, what am I turning this? I'm not even, maybe quarter turns here, because you only have so much room to wind. So that's your wind. You can overwind it, so once it gets tough, stop winding it. But you can wind it like whenever I didn't have this piece on there and I was just doing it, just holding the movement in my hand. Obviously super easy to wind because you can really grab that crown and you can get it really spun. But you'll find you won't be able to wind it too terribly far, but it has a crazy long power reserve on it. So each one of these little turns might be like adding a half an hour at a time. So you might not need to do it too much. But whenever you're good with your wind, you pull it. Make sure that's out of the way. See, this is what pushes that or holds that down. You pull it to the one and only click, right? So you can see you've got all your spacing in there. And you can now adjust your time. Now, it is backwards compared to my other builds on, if I turn this way, it's advancing it this way instead of I'm used to the hands going the other direction. So, okay, Google, what time is it?
It's 10:20 a.m.
10:20 a.m. And since you've got nowhere to mark on your minute referencing, you're just going to want to go off of those. Oh, yeah, it's backwards. So there we are on 12 o'clock. That's where I set it to. But you'll notice on that AR, on the that AR coding, man, is it tough to you just see everything in it, which is really cool. Okay, Google, what time is it?
It's 10:20 a.m.
10:20 a.m. So one thing you'll notice on these is there's no seconds hand. There technically was a seconds hand until I removed it. It's around that area on there. It has a pinion coming through, which I remove on here so that, because I can't do that on the dial. You'd have to have a custom cutout right there for it. It'd have to be recessed around it for that seconds hand to move around. So there would have to be on every dial that cutout and a recession point. Then we'd have to figure out alignment with the laser guy of going, I know that this is perfectly at 12 because this is at perfect at 9 it's the area that it's sitting in is so specific that if you went around and did the dial thinking you had it in the right spot and it wasn't in the right spot and you turned it just a little bit, well, now none of your stuff's aligned. I align this with the crown as I'm putting it together, so that stem goes right into 3 right here. Well, the location he might have up here might not be aligned properly when I align 3 with this, so then your pinion might not be there. It's whenever you're just building those yourself and you're not using a template, because the template ones are already dials that have already been created. So when you're just making your own, unless you're taking that and you're overlaying it every single time and you're marking on the dial where everything is, because if you're off by just barely a millimeter, then it's not going to line up properly. So it's much easier to avoid it completely. So plus I kind of like this look because that pinion comes up through, so it kind of looks like it's got a nice cap there. On handsets that have a second hand pinion in the center, you've got a hole there for your barrel to go down in, so it looks incomplete if you don't have one there. But on this, it's nice and finished. So it's very cool, man. So I hope you like it. So black PVD case, essentially a black brushed Cerakote band on it, red Cerakote on your outsides, your custom engraved clasp, and then I did a black handset and your two-tone Cerakote on the dial. So that's your build, man. This took me way longer than it should have to put together, but you have to kind of put them together, take it apart, put it together, take it apart. As with every build, it comes with matching beads. This one's just going to come in my black special edition BVW box. Whenever you get hung up on your own initials, it's a rough morning already. It's going to come with watch cleaner. This is good on all glass and metal parts of this watch as a whole, and then an included microfiber to keep it polished. So yeah, you'll fingerprint that a little bit, but you'll notice it right away. It cleans up very easily, so it is kind of nice to work off of that. But thank you so much, man. Thank you for working with me on the dial and getting me that dial rendering. And thanks for my buddy Ron, who was able to laser it out for me. So we had a situation where the original guy that I ordered your dial with just forgot to do it completely. And then I got a package and I was like, wait, where's this? And he's like, Oh yeah, you needed that, right? I can do it in like 2 months. It's like, oh no. So I was able to have a buddy laser it out, and was able to laser it out deep enough that my Cerakote guy was able to knock it out for you. Because my original guy does an acid etch and he gets it really low in there, and that's what I like to work with Cerakote, because we know it's low enough for dual layers. Whenever you do lasering, a lot of times you can warp it if you're not just doing it off of a full sheet to let the heat dissipate and then using a CNC machine to cut it out, but you have to have both a laser and a CNC machine. So if you don't have that, it makes it extra tough. So we were able to get this put together for you, even though we had some hiccups. Didn't realize we were having hiccups until I didn't get your dial. so I appreciate you waiting on me, man, and your support. So if you want me to build you something custom and unique, I'll try. Just reach out and I'll see what I can do. And if you want to continue to see videos like this, like and subscribe, as I put them up all the time. Thanks, guys.